Did you know that Canada has the longest coastline in the world? And it's not just a little bit longer, it's mind-blowingly vast. We're talking over 243,000 kilometers, or more than 151,000 miles. To put that into perspective, if you started walking along Canada's coast and covered 20 kilometers every single day, it would take you more than 33 years to complete the journey. That's a lifetime of adventure right there. This immense coastline is where three of the world's great oceans meet: the wild Pacific on the west, the historic Atlantic on the east, and the icy, majestic Arctic to the north. This isn't just a line on a map. It's a dynamic living boundary that shapes the country's climate, culture, and very identity. From the rugged, misty fjords of British Columbia to the iconic lighthouse-dotted shores of the Maritimes and the remote, frozen tundra of Nunavut, each stretch of coast tells a different story. Let's start our journey on the west coast, where the Pacific Ocean carves out a dramatic landscape. Think of Vancouver Island, Haida Gwaii, and the Great Bear Rainforest. This is a world of towering old-growth trees, secluded coves, and abundant marine life. It's a paradise for kayakers, surfers, and anyone who feels the pull of the untamed ocean. The Salish Sea, nestled between Vancouver Island and the mainland, is a bustling marine highway for orcas, humpback whales, and sea lions. The coastal First Nations have lived here for millennia, their culture and traditions deeply intertwined with the rhythm of the tides and the salmon runs. Imagine paddling through a quiet inlet, the only sounds being the cry of a bald eagle and the gentle lapping of waves against your kayak. That's the magic of Canada's Pacific coast. Now, let's travel across the continent to the Atlantic coast. This is where Canada's story as a nation began. Think of Peggy's Cove in Nova Scotia with its iconic lighthouse perched on granite rocks, or the colorful houses of St. John's, Newfoundland, clinging to the hillside. The coastline here is a mosaic of sandy beaches, rocky cliffs, and quaint fishing villages. The culture is rich with Celtic and Acadian heritage, full of sea shanties, fresh lobster, and legendary hospitality. This coast has weathered countless storms, and the people here have a resilience and a deep respect for the power of the Atlantic. Driving the Cabot Trail in Cape Breton is an unforgettable experience, with every turn revealing another breathtaking ocean vista. You can feel the history in the salty air. But the most mysterious and vast part of Canada's coastline lies to the north, along the shores of the Arctic Ocean and its labyrinth of islands. This is the realm of the polar bear, the narwhal, and the midnight sun. The Arctic archipelago is a maze of over 36,000 islands, creating an incredibly complex and long coastline. For most of the year, the sea is frozen solid, a vast white desert. But in the short, intense summer, the ice breaks up, revealing a world teeming with life. This is one of the last truly wild places on Earth, home to the Inuit people who have thrived in this challenging environment for thousands of years. Their knowledge of the land and sea is profound. Navigating the Northwest Passage, a historic and treacherous sea route through the Arctic, remains one of the world's greatest exploration challenges. So why is Canada's coastline so incredibly long? It's all about the islands. The country has over 52,000 islands, from the massive Baffin Island, which is larger than Spain, to countless tiny unnamed islets. Each island adds its own perimeter to the total length, creating what geographers call the coastline paradox. The more closely you measure a jagged coastline, the longer it becomes. Canada's geography is the ultimate example of this, with endless bays, inlets, and fjords that multiply its length. This vast coastline is more than just a geographical feature. It's a vital part of Canada's economy and environment. It supports fisheries, shipping routes, and tourism. It's also on the front lines of climate change, with rising sea levels and melting sea ice posing significant challenges, especially in the Arctic. Protecting this immense and diverse marine environment is a huge responsibility. Canada has been working to create marine protected areas to conserve biodiversity and ensure these incredible ecosystems can thrive for generations to come. From the surfers riding waves in Tofino on the Pacific to fishermen hauling lobster traps in the Bay of Fundy on the Atlantic to Inuit hunters navigating the ice floes of the Arctic, Canada's coastline is the lifeblood for millions. It's a source of food, a highway for trade, a playground for adventure, and a wellspring of inspiration. The sheer scale of it is almost impossible to comprehend. It accounts for around 24% of all the coastlines in the entire world. Think about that. One country holds nearly a quarter of the world's total ocean front. You could fit the coastlines of Russia, the United States, Australia, and Indonesia combined into Canada's and still have room to spare. So the next time you look at a map of the world, take a closer look at Canada. Trace that incredibly long and intricate line where the land meets the sea. It's a reminder of the country's immense size, its stunning natural beauty, and the powerful forces that have shaped it. It's a coastline of endless discovery. Thanks so much for joining me on this coastal journey across Canada. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss our next adventure. What part of Canada's coast would you love to visit most? Let me know in the comments below. See you next time. Did you know that Canada has the longest coastline in the entire world? It's so long, in fact, that if you decided to walk its entire length without stopping for anything, no sleep, no breaks, just pure uninterrupted walking, it would take you over 30 years to complete the journey. That's a lifetime of walking. This isn't just one long straight line of beach either. We're talking about a coastline that stretches an astonishing 243,042 kilometers, or about 151,019 miles. To put that into perspective, you could circle the Earth at the equator almost 6 times with that length. It's a number so massive it's hard to even comprehend. So how is this even possible for one country? The secret lies in the thousands upon thousands of islands that dot Canada's shores. Canada is an immense archipelago, boasting an official count of 52,155 islands. From tiny uninhabited rocky outcrops to massive land masses, each one adds its own unique perimeter to the grand total. These islands are scattered across 3 different oceans: the Atlantic, the Pacific, and the Arctic. This intricate, jagged tapestry of land and water is what creates this record-breaking coastline. It's not a smooth edge. It's a complex fractal-like boundary that weaves in and out around bays, inlets, and of course all those islands. Let's zoom in on one of these islands to get a sense of scale. Take Baffin Island, located in the northern territory of Nunavut. This isn't just some small island. Baffin Island is the 5th largest island in the world. It's so big that it's larger than the entire United Kingdom. Let that sink in for a moment. An entire country, with all its cities, history, and people, could fit inside this single Canadian island with room to spare. Baffin Island alone has a coastline that is rugged, dramatic, and stretches for thousands of kilometers, contributing significantly to Canada's overall total. It's a land of towering fjords, vast ice caps, and a raw, untamed beauty that feels like stepping back in time. But the sheer size and length are just the beginning of the story. This coastline is a vibrant, living ecosystem teeming with some of the most iconic wildlife on the planet. In the far north, along the icy shores of the Arctic Ocean, this is the kingdom of the polar bear. These magnificent predators, the largest land carnivores in the world, depend on the sea ice that forms along the coast to hunt for their primary food source: seals. You can often see ringed seals and bearded seals basking on ice floes or popping their heads up through breathing holes in the ice. This dynamic interplay between predator and prey is a fundamental part of the Arctic coastal environment. It's a fragile, beautiful world where life has adapted to thrive in extreme conditions. Moving from the icy Arctic to the more temperate waters of the Pacific coast in British Columbia, the scene changes dramatically but is no less spectacular. Here, the coastline is a lush world of ancient rainforests that meet the sea. Giant Douglas firs and Sitka spruce trees stand like sentinels along the shore. This is the home of the majestic orca, or killer whale. Seeing a pod of orcas slicing through the water, their black and white forms stark against the deep blue, is an unforgettable experience. They are highly intelligent, social animals that patrol these coastal waters in search of salmon. And speaking of salmon, the annual salmon run is one of nature's greatest spectacles, as millions of fish return from the ocean to the rivers of their birth to spawn, providing a critical food source for everything from bears to eagles. Humpback whales also frequent these waters, putting on incredible displays of breaching and tail slapping, making the Pacific coast a world-renowned destination for whale watching. Then we have the Atlantic coast, a region steeped in maritime history and culture. From the rocky shores of Newfoundland and Labrador to the sandy beaches of Prince Edward Island, the Atlantic coastline has a character all its own. This is where you'll find some of the most charming and picturesque fishing villages you can imagine, with colorful houses perched on cliffs overlooking the ocean. The waters here are rich with life. Enormous colonies of puffins with their comical, colorful beaks nest on coastal cliffs. It's a birdwatcher's paradise. And in the water you can witness the gentle giants of the sea. Fin whales, minke whales, and the awe-inspiring blue whale, the largest animal ever to have lived on Earth, migrate through these nutrient-rich waters. The Bay of Fundy, nestled between New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, boasts the highest tides in the world. A powerful force of nature that has shaped the coastline and its ecosystems over millennia. What's truly incredible is that each section of this massive coastline tells a different story. The geology changes, the climate changes, and the life that it supports changes with it. In the Arctic, you have the stunning stark beauty of ice and tundra. On the Pacific coast, you have the temperate rainforests and deep, mysterious fjords. And on the Atlantic coast, you have the rugged, windswept beauty and rich cultural heritage. It's like three different worlds, all within the borders of one nation. This diversity is what makes Canada's coastline not just the longest, but arguably one of the most interesting and ecologically significant in the world. Think about the human element as well. For thousands of years, indigenous peoples have lived along these shores, developing deep cultural and spiritual connections to the land and sea. The Inuit in the north, the First Nations of the Pacific Northwest with their iconic totem poles, and the Mi'kmaq of the Atlantic coast all have traditions and knowledge that are intricately woven with the rhythms of the coastal environment. Their stories, their art, and their way of life are a testament to the profound relationship between people and this incredible coastline. Today, millions of Canadians live and work along these shores, in industries ranging from fishing and shipping to tourism and scientific research. Protecting this vast and varied coastline is a monumental task. It faces challenges from climate change, which affects sea ice in the Arctic, and from pollution and development in more populated areas. But there's a growing awareness of the importance of conserving this national treasure. Canada has established numerous national parks, marine protected areas, and wildlife reserves along its coast to help safeguard these vital habitats for future generations. These protected areas are not just for the animals. They are places where people can connect with nature, learn about the environment, and experience the raw beauty of the Canadian coast. So, the next time you look at a map of the world, take a closer look at Canada. Trace that incredibly long winding line that separates the land from the sea. Remember that it's more than just a line on a map. It's a world of adventure, a sanctuary for wildlife, a source of livelihood for millions, and a place of breathtaking beauty. From the polar bears of the Arctic to the orcas of the Pacific, and the puffins of the Atlantic, Canada's coastline is a testament to the wild, wonderful, and immense scale of our planet. It's a journey that would take a lifetime, and what a spectacular journey it would be. Thank you so much for joining me on this virtual tour of Canada's incredible coastline. If you enjoyed this and learned something new, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. We'd love to have you with us. See you next time. Did you know that Canada has the longest coastline in the world? If you were to walk its entire length, it would take you over 30 years. Stretching for more than 243,000 kilometers, Canada's coastline borders three different oceans: the Atlantic, the Pacific, and the Arctic. This isn't just a line on a map. It's a world of wonder, diversity, and breathtaking beauty. From the rugged cliffs of Newfoundland to the serene fjords of British Columbia and the icy expanses of the north, each kilometer tells a different story. It's a place where land, sea, and sky meet in the most dramatic ways imaginable. So buckle up as we embark on a journey along this incredible world record-holding coastline. You won't believe what we're about to discover. Let's start our journey on the west coast, in beautiful British Columbia. Here, the Pacific Ocean carves a dramatic landscape of deep fjords, thousands of islands, and lush temperate rainforests that kiss the water's edge. This coastline is a vital highway for one of nature's most majestic spectacles, the annual whale migration. Each spring, grey whales travel thousands of kilometers from the warm waters of Mexico to the nutrient-rich feeding grounds of the Arctic, passing right by Vancouver Island. But they're not alone. The iconic black and white orcas, also known as killer whales, patrol these waters in their family pods, their dorsal fins cutting through the waves. Humpback whales are also a common sight, famous for their spectacular breaching, where they launch their entire massive bodies out of the water. Witnessing this is a truly humbling experience, a powerful reminder of the vibrant life that thrives along Canada's shores. One of the most remarkable things about Canada's vast coastline is how much of it remains pristine, untouched wilderness. Imagine vast stretches of shoreline where the only footprints you'll find belong to bears, wolves, or caribou. In places like the Great Bear Rainforest in British Columbia or Tongaat Mountains National Park in Labrador, ancient forests meet the sea, creating ecosystems that have remained unchanged for millennia. These remote areas are a sanctuary for wildlife and a living laboratory for scientists. For adventurers, they offer a chance to disconnect from the modern world and experience true solitude. Exploring these wild coasts by kayak or boat, you feel like you've stepped back in time. It's a testament to Canada's commitment to preserving its natural heritage, ensuring these wild places remain for generations to come. Now let's travel east to the Atlantic coast, home to a natural wonder that has to be seen to be believed, the Bay of Fundy. Nestled between Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, this bay experiences the highest tides on Earth. Twice a day, an incredible 160 billion tons of seawater flow in and out of the bay. That's more than the combined flow of all the world's freshwater rivers. The water level can rise and fall by as much as 16 meters, or about the height of a 5-story building. This constant, powerful movement has sculpted a unique landscape. At low tide, you can walk on the ocean floor, exploring sea caves and discovering the strange creatures left behind in tidal pools. At high tide, those same areas are completely submerged, and you can kayak over the very spot you were just walking. It's a dynamic, ever-changing environment and a powerful display of nature's force. Heading north, we encounter a body of water so immense it's often mistaken for an inland sea. Hudson Bay. This massive saltwater bay is one of the largest in the world, connected to both the Arctic and Atlantic Oceans. Its sheer size is hard to comprehend. It's so big that it influences the local climate, creating colder winters and cooler summers along its shores. Hudson Bay is particularly famous for its population of polar bears. In the autumn, hundreds of these magnificent predators gather along the coast near Churchill, Manitoba, waiting for the sea ice to form so they can hunt for seals. This has earned Churchill the nickname Polar Bear Capital of the World. The bay is also a critical habitat for beluga whales, which congregate in the thousands in its estuaries during the summer. Hudson Bay is a wild, harsh and beautiful frontier, a key part of Canada's northern identity. The Arctic coastline of Canada is a realm of ice, silence and stark beauty. This is the fabled Northwest Passage, a sea route through the Arctic Ocean along the northern coast of North America, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific. For centuries, explorers sought this passage, a treacherous journey through a maze of islands and shifting sea ice. Today, it remains one of the world's most challenging waterways. The landscape here is otherworldly, dominated by glaciers, icebergs the size of mountains, and a sun that doesn't set for months in the summer. This environment supports a unique array of wildlife adapted to the extreme cold, including narwhals, often called the unicorns of the sea for their long tusks, as well as seals, walruses, and bowhead whales. The Inuit people have called this region home for thousands of years, their culture and survival intricately woven with the rhythms of the ice and the sea. Beyond the wildlife and natural wonders, Canada's coastline is dotted with charming and historic communities. From the colorful houses of St. John's, Newfoundland, one of the oldest cities in North America, to the quaint fishing villages of Nova Scotia's South Shore, each town has a unique character shaped by the sea. Lighthouses stand as lonely sentinels on windswept headlands, guiding ships safely to harbor for centuries. The maritime culture is rich with stories, music, and traditions passed down through generations of fishers, sailors, and shipbuilders. Exploring these coastal towns is like taking a journey through history, where the smell of salt is always in the air and the rhythm of life is dictated by the tides. It's in these communities that you truly feel the deep connection between Canadians and their incredible coastline. This epic coastline isn't just for looking at. It's a giant playground for adventure seekers. The surfing scene in Tofino, British Columbia is world-renowned, with surfers riding the cold Pacific waves year-round. Sea kayaking is another popular activity, offering an intimate way to explore hidden coves, paddle alongside whales, and camp on deserted islands. On the east coast, you can go tidal bore rafting on the rivers that flow into the Bay of Fundy, riding the wave created by the incoming tide. In the north, expeditions offer the chance to sail the Northwest Passage or go on a polar bear safari. Whether you're into scuba diving to explore shipwrecks, sailing, sport fishing, or simply hiking along a coastal trail, Canada's shores offer endless opportunities for adventure and to make memories that will last a lifetime. The environmental importance of this vast coastline cannot be overstated. It's home to some of the most productive marine ecosystems on the planet. Kelp forests, which act as underwater nurseries for countless species, thrive in the cold, nutrient-rich waters. Estuaries, where freshwater rivers meet the saltwater of the ocean, are critical habitats for birds, fish, and shellfish. Canada has established numerous national marine conservation areas and marine protected areas to safeguard these vital ecosystems. Protecting this coastline from pollution, overfishing, and the impacts of climate change is a massive undertaking and a national priority. The health of these waters is essential not just for the wildlife that depends on them, but for the coastal communities and for the planet as a whole. From the thunder of the Atlantic waves to the serene calm of a Pacific fjord and the icy silence of the Arctic, Canada's coastline is a journey of incredible diversity. It's a place of majestic wildlife, mind-boggling natural phenomena, and rich human history. We've seen migrating whales, the world's highest tides, polar bears waiting for the ice, and ancient wilderness that remains untouched. This coastline is more than just a geographic feature. It's a core part of Canada's identity and a natural treasure of global significance. Its 243,000 kilometers offer a lifetime of exploration and discovery. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible coastal journey across Canada. There's always more to explore, so if you enjoyed this adventure, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next exploration. We'd love to hear from you, so leave a comment below and tell us which part of Canada's coastline you'd love to visit the most. Until next time, keep exploring. Did you know that one country has a coastline so long that if you walked it, it would take you over 33 years? We're talking about the vast, beautiful, and wild coastline of Canada, the longest in the entire world. Stretching for an incredible 243,000 kilometers, it's a place of stunning contrasts, from rugged cliffs to serene beaches, and from bustling harbors to the silent, icy expanses of the Arctic. Let's embark on a journey along this monumental shoreline. Our adventure begins on the east coast, in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Every spring, a breathtaking spectacle unfolds here. Giant icebergs, some over 10,000 years old, break off from Greenland's glaciers and begin a slow, majestic journey south. They drift down a corridor known as Iceberg Alley, passing by the Newfoundland coast. Imagine standing on a green cliff, feeling the cool ocean breeze, and watching these colossal mountains of ancient ice float by. They come in all shapes and sizes. Some are stark white, others are a deep, brilliant blue. It's a surreal and humbling experience, a reminder of nature's raw power and timeless beauty. Traveling west, we encounter the historic St. Lawrence River, a massive waterway that connects the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean. This has been a vital artery for centuries, shaping the history and economy of Canada. But let's dive deeper into the country's heartland, because Canada's connection to water goes far beyond its ocean shores. Did you know Canada has more lakes than the rest of the world combined? That's right, over 2 million lakes dot the landscape. From the Great Lakes, which are like inland freshwater seas, to countless smaller, pristine lakes hidden deep within the forests. These lakes are the lifeblood of the nation, providing fresh water, recreation, and habitats for an abundance of wildlife. They are an integral part of the Canadian identity. Now let's head north to the most remote and mysterious part of Canada's coastline, the Arctic. This is a realm of ice, snow, and incredible resilience. For thousands of years, indigenous peoples like the Inuit have thrived in this challenging environment. Their lives are intricately woven with the sea and the ice. They have developed unparalleled knowledge of the land, the wildlife, and the changing seasons, passed down through generations. Their vibrant cultures, rich traditions, and deep respect for nature are an essential part of the story of Canada's Arctic coast. They are the original guardians of this northern frontier, and their communities continue to flourish along these shores. The Arctic is also home to one of the most legendary sea routes in history, the Northwest Passage. For centuries, European explorers were obsessed with finding this path through the Arctic archipelago, believing it would be a shortcut to Asia. Men like John Cabot and Henry Hudson led perilous expeditions, battling ice and extreme cold in search of this elusive route. Many attempts ended in tragedy, with ships trapped in the ice and crews lost to the unforgiving elements. It wasn't until the early 20th century that Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen finally navigated the passage successfully. Today, as the Arctic ice melts due to climate change, the Northwest Passage is becoming more navigable, raising new questions about sovereignty, environmental protection, and international trade in this fragile and vital region. From the Atlantic to the Pacific and all the way to the Arctic Ocean, Canada's coastline is a world of its own. Let's journey to the west coast to British Columbia. Here the landscape is dramatically different. Towering mountains plunge directly into the sea, creating a network of breathtaking fjords and inlets. The coastline is a maze of islands, including the large and beautiful Vancouver Island. This temperate rainforest environment is lush and green, teeming with life. You can watch majestic orcas patrol the waters, see massive grizzly bears foraging along the shore, and explore ancient forests with trees that have stood for centuries. The Pacific coast is a paradise for adventurers, kayakers, and anyone who loves the powerful meeting of mountain and ocean. Canada's coastline is not just a line on a map. It's a living, breathing entity that has shaped the nation's history, culture, and identity. It's a source of resources, a highway for trade, a home to diverse communities, and a sanctuary for incredible wildlife. It tells stories of ancient glaciers, of resilient indigenous cultures, of bold explorers, and of the delicate balance of nature. From the icy dance of icebergs in the east to the rainforest-clad fjords in the west and the legendary frozen passage in the north, Canada's coast is a testament to the planet's grandeur. It's a treasure that holds endless stories and secrets waiting to be discovered. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible coastal journey across Canada. There's always more to explore and learn. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like it, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an adventure. See you next time. Did you know that one country holds the record for the longest coastline in the world, stretching so far it could wrap around the Earth almost 6 times at the equator? That country is Canada. Welcome everyone to a journey along the world's most extensive and breathtaking coastline. Today we're diving deep into the wonders of Canada's shores, a massive 243 kilometers of geographical marvel, from the rugged cliffs of the Atlantic to the serene fjords of the Pacific, and all the way up to the icy expanse of the Arctic. Canada's coastline is a story of nature, life, and human endeavor. So how did Canada end up with such an enormous coastline? The secret lies in its geography. The country is fringed by thousands of islands, large and small, from Baffin Island in the Arctic to Vancouver Island in the Pacific. Each island, bay, and inlet adds to the total length, creating a complex and jagged shoreline unlike any other. It's not a straight line, but a beautiful, intricate puzzle pieced together by nature over millennia. Let's start our exploration on the East Coast, in the Atlantic provinces. Here, the coastline is a dramatic blend of rocky shores, sandy beaches, and picturesque fishing villages. Think of places like Peggy's Cove in Nova Scotia, with its iconic lighthouse perched on granite rocks, or the dramatic cliffs of Grossmorn National Park in Newfoundland. For centuries, these waters have been the lifeblood of coastal communities. The Grand Banks, one of the world's richest fishing grounds, has provided abundant cod, haddock, and lobster, shaping the culture and economy of the region. The fishing industry here isn't just a job, it's a heritage passed down through generations. Walking through these villages, you can almost hear the tales of the sea whispered on the wind. Now let's journey west to the Pacific coast of British Columbia. The scenery here shifts dramatically. We're talking deep, majestic fjords, temperate rainforests that meet the sea, and countless islands that form the beautiful Inside Passage. This coastline is home to an incredible array of wildlife. Imagine watching a pod of orcas breaching the waves or seeing a grizzly bear fishing for salmon in a coastal river. The Pacific coast is also a hub for trade, with the Port of Vancouver being Canada's largest and busiest port. It's a critical gateway for goods moving between North America and Asia, making this coastline a vital artery for global shipping. The blend of stunning nature and bustling economic activity here is truly unique. But we can't talk about Canada's coastline without heading north to the vast and remote Arctic. This is the final and perhaps most mysterious piece of the puzzle. The Arctic coastline is a realm of ice and snow for much of the year, a stark and beautiful landscape that is home to polar bears, seals, and narwhals. The famous Northwest Passage, a sea route connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans through the Arctic archipelago, has fascinated explorers for centuries. While historically treacherous and often impassable, climate change is opening up this route, presenting both new opportunities for shipping and significant challenges for the fragile Arctic ecosystem and the Inuit communities who have thrived here for millennia. Their culture and survival are deeply intertwined with this frozen sea. Beyond its physical beauty and economic importance, Canada's coastline holds another incredible title. Did you know that Canada is home to about 60% of the world's lakes? That's right. Over half of all the lakes on Earth are within Canada's borders. Many of these lakes are connected to the coastal watersheds, creating a vast network of freshwater that flows into the 3 oceans surrounding the country. This abundance of fresh and saltwater ecosystems makes Canada a global powerhouse of biodiversity. The coastal waters are teeming with life, from the smallest plankton to the largest whales. This richness supports not just commercial fishing, but also vibrant recreational activities like whale watching, kayaking, and sport fishing, drawing tourists from around the globe. The cultural significance of Canada's coastline is just as immense as its physical presence. For Indigenous peoples, the coast has been a source of sustenance, transportation, and spiritual connection for thousands of years. Their traditional knowledge of the land and sea is invaluable for understanding and preserving these delicate ecosystems. From the Haida Gwaii on the Pacific coast to the Mi'kmaq territory in the Atlantic, the stories, art, and traditions of these communities are woven into the very fabric of the coastline. Their connection to these lands and waters is a powerful reminder of the deep historical relationship between people and the sea. Furthermore, Canada's coastline is on the front lines of scientific research. Scientists are studying everything from the impacts of climate change on Arctic sea ice to the health of salmon populations in the Pacific. These coastal zones are living laboratories that provide crucial data about our planet's health. The information gathered here helps us understand global weather patterns, rising sea levels, and the intricate web of marine life. By protecting its coastline, Canada is not just preserving a national treasure, it's contributing to the well-being of the entire planet. The health of these waters impacts global fisheries, weather systems, and biodiversity far beyond Canada's borders. The vastness of this coastline also means it plays a critical role in global trade and transportation. Major ports like Vancouver, Montreal, and Halifax are bustling hubs that connect Canada to the rest of the world. Billions of dollars in goods pass through these ports every year, supporting jobs and economies across the country and around the globe. These shipping lanes are the arteries of modern commerce, and Canada's strategic coastal locations make it a key player in the international supply chain. The efficiency and security of these routes are essential for everyone, ensuring that products from all corners of the world can reach their destinations. So, from the charming lighthouses of the Atlantic to the wild rainforests of the Pacific and the icy frontier of the Arctic, Canada's coastline is a world of its own. It's a place of incredible natural beauty, rich biodiversity, deep cultural heritage, and vital economic importance. It's a testament to the power and wonder of nature, a resource that connects Canada to the world in more ways than one. The next time you look at a map of the world, take a closer look at Canada and appreciate the incredible sprawling coastline that defines it. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible coastal journey. I hope you learned something new and feel inspired to explore more of our amazing planet. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. We'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What part of Canada's coastline would you most like to visit? Until next time, stay curious. Did you know that one country has a coastline so long that if you walked it continuously, it would take you over 30 years? Welcome to Canada, home to the longest coastline in the entire world. Stretching for an incredible 243,042 kilometers, or over 151,000 miles, Canada's coastline is a realm of breathtaking diversity and epic scale. It's a journey that takes you from the rugged, fjord-carved shores of the Pacific in British Columbia, through the icy, mysterious passages of the Arctic archipelago, all the way to the charming, colorful fishing villages of the Atlantic provinces. To put this into perspective, Canada's coastline is more than 4 times longer than the next country on the list, Indonesia. It's so vast that it borders 3 different oceans, the Atlantic, the Pacific, and the Arctic. This isn't just a line on a map. It's a living, breathing part of the nation's identity, shaping its history, culture, and economy. Let's start our journey on the East Coast. Here in provinces like Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island, the sea is in the people's blood. Coastal towns, with their iconic lighthouses and brightly painted houses, preserve fishing traditions that go back centuries. Communities like Lunenburg in Nova Scotia, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, are a testament to this maritime heritage. The rhythm of life here is tied to the tides, the catch of the day, and the stories shared by generations of seafarers. The Grand Banks, one of the world's richest fishing grounds, has been a source of sustenance and wealth for centuries, drawing fishers from all over the globe. Now let's travel west to the Pacific coast. British Columbia offers a completely different yet equally stunning coastal experience. Think towering temperate rainforests that meet the ocean's edge, deep fjords that rival those of Norway, and a maze of thousands of islands like the Haida Gwaii archipelago. This coastline is a sanctuary for incredible wildlife. It's where you can witness majestic orcas patrolling the waters, grizzly bears feasting on salmon along riverbanks, and massive humpback whales breaching against a backdrop of snow-capped mountains. The culture of the First Nations here is deeply intertwined with the sea, with ancient traditions of salmon fishing, cedar canoe carving, and storytelling that honor the life-giving ocean. But perhaps the most remote and least known part of Canada's coastline is in the north, bordering the Arctic Ocean. This is a world of ice, silence, and stark beauty. The Arctic archipelago is a complex web of more than 36,000 islands, creating a labyrinth of channels and bays. For much of the year, the sea is frozen solid, a vast highway of ice. This coastline is home to resilient Inuit communities who have thrived in this challenging environment for millennia, their knowledge of the ice and sea being paramount for survival. It's also a critical habitat for unique animals like polar bears, narwhals, beluga whales, and walruses. The sheer scale of Canada's coastline has a profound global impact. These vast coastal waters influence weather systems and ocean currents far beyond their borders. The Labrador Current, for instance, brings cold water down from the Arctic, affecting climates along the North American east coast. The Pacific coast's ocean temperatures play a crucial role in phenomena like El Niño, which can alter weather patterns across the globe. The health of these coastal ecosystems, from the kelp forests of the Pacific to the seagrass beds of the Atlantic, is vital for carbon sequestration, helping to regulate the Earth's climate. Because of its unique position, Canada's Arctic coast has become a frontline for climate change research. Scientists from around the world gather here to study the effects of melting sea ice, thawing permafrost, and rising sea levels. The changes happening in the Canadian Arctic are an early warning system for the rest of the planet. Studying these remote coastlines helps us understand the urgent and complex challenges of climate change, providing critical data that informs global policy and conservation efforts. The coastline isn't just about nature, it's a hub of human activity. It's home to major port cities like Vancouver, Halifax, and Montreal, which are vital gateways for international trade. It supports industries from fishing and aquaculture to tourism and shipping. Millions of Canadians live and work along these shores, their lives and livelihoods inextricably linked to the health of the ocean. Exploring Canada's coastline is an adventure of a lifetime. You could be kayaking through serene inlets in British Columbia, sailing past icebergs in Newfoundland, or learning traditional hunting techniques with Inuit guides in Nunavut. It's a place of endless discovery, offering everything from world-class surfing spots in Tofino to quiet, secluded beaches on the Great Lakes, which themselves boast a massive freshwater coastline. So, from the wild, untamed beauty of the north to the historic, welcoming communities of the east and the dramatic landscapes of the west, Canada's coastline is more than just a geographical feature. It's a source of life, a driver of climate, a keeper of history, and a window into the future of our planet. It's a testament to the vast, wild, and wonderful nature of our world. We hope you enjoyed this incredible journey along the world's longest coastline. What part of it would you love to visit the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this fact as amazing as we did, please hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating facts about our incredible world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Did you know that Canada has the longest coastline in the world? It's so long that if you started walking and never stopped, it would take you 33 years to cover it all. That's right, over 243,000 kilometers of stunning, wild, and incredibly diverse coastline stretching across the Atlantic, Pacific, and Arctic oceans. To put that into perspective, it's almost 6 times the circumference of the Earth at the equator. Indonesia is a distant second, and Russia is third. So what makes Canada's coastline so incredibly long? It's all thanks to its massive archipelago, especially in the Arctic, with thousands of islands creating an intricate, jagged shoreline that just keeps going. Let's start our journey on the east coast, facing the mighty Atlantic. Here, you'll find the iconic rugged cliffs of Newfoundland and Labrador, battered by powerful ocean waves for millennia. Imagine picturesque fishing villages clinging to rocky coves with colorful houses dotting the landscape. This is where the first Europeans landed in North America, and you can feel the history in the air. The Bay of Fundy, between Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, boasts the highest tides in the world. We're talking a tidal range that can reach 16 meters, or about the height of a 5-story building. Twice a day, 160 billion tons of seawater flow in and out of the bay. That is more than the combined flow of all the world's freshwater rivers. It's an incredible display of nature's power. Heading north from there, the landscape transforms. The coast of Labrador is stark, dramatic, and home to ancient mountains and deep fjords carved by glaciers during the last ice age. This coastline is not just beautiful, it's a critical habitat for whales, seals, and massive seabird colonies. It's a testament to the raw, untamed wilderness that defines so much of Canada. Now let's jump across the country to the Pacific coast of British Columbia. This is a completely different world. Think lush, temperate rainforests that come right down to the water's edge. This coastline is a maze of islands, inlets, and fjords, creating a sheltered paradise known as the Inside Passage. It's a haven for marine life, including pods of orcas, humpback whales, and the majestic spirit bear, a rare, white-coated black bear found only in this region. The Haida Gwaii archipelago, sometimes called the Galapagos of the North, is a place of profound cultural significance for the Haida Nation and a biodiversity hotspot. The entire coast is a kayaker's dream and a nature lover's paradise, where ancient cedar trees stand as silent sentinels over the water. But here's where things get really interesting, and what truly gives Canada its title. We're heading to the far north, to the Arctic Ocean. This part of Canada's coastline is longer than the Atlantic and Pacific coast combined. It's a realm of ice and snow, a vast frozen frontier that is both harsh and breathtakingly beautiful. For most of the year, this coastline is locked in sea ice, creating a unique and fragile ecosystem. This is the domain of the polar bear, the walrus, and the narwhal, the unicorn of the sea. Life here operates on a different rhythm. In the high Arctic, the sun disappears for months during the polar night, casting the world in a surreal twilight. The only light comes from the moon, the stars, and the spectacular aurora borealis, dancing across the sky in vibrant curtains of green, pink, and purple. It's an otherworldly experience that few people ever get to witness. When the sun finally returns, it stays in the sky for 24 hours a day during the summer, a period of frantic life and activity for the tundra's plants and animals. Getting to many parts of this Arctic coastline is a challenge in itself. There are very few roads. In the winter, some remote communities become accessible via ice roads, highways built on top of frozen rivers, lakes, and even the ocean itself. Driving on an ice road is a uniquely Canadian adventure, a journey across a frozen landscape that feels like another planet. For much of the year, the only way to reach these coastal areas is by plane, or, in the short summer, by boat. This remoteness has helped preserve the pristine nature of the Arctic. But Canada's coastline is more than just a pretty picture or an interesting fact. It's a vital part of our planet's health. The coastal ecosystems, especially the salt marshes, seagrass meadows, and tidal flats, are incredibly effective at capturing and storing carbon from the atmosphere. This is what we call blue carbon, and it's a powerful tool in the fight against climate change. These habitats can store carbon up to 10 times more efficiently than mature tropical forests. So, protecting Canada's vast coastline isn't just about preserving beautiful landscapes. It's about protecting a massive natural carbon sink that benefits the entire world. From the tide-swept shores of the Atlantic to the rainforest-lined fjords of the Pacific, and all the way to the frozen expanse of the Arctic, Canada's coastline is a journey through diverse ecosystems, climates, and cultures. It's a place of immense beauty, staggering scale, and critical global importance. It's a national treasure that's still revealing its secrets. So the next time you think of Canada, don't just picture mountains and maple syrup. Picture that endless winding coastline, a world of wonders waiting to be explored. What did you think? Which part of Canada's coastline would you want to visit first? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey and learned something new, please give this video a like, subscribe for more adventures, and share it with someone who loves to explore. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Did you know that Canada has the longest coastline in the world? It's so long, in fact, that if you walked it without stopping, it would take you over 33 years. That's right, stretching over 243,000 kilometers, or about 151,000 miles, Canada's coastline is a world of its own, full of incredible diversity, life, and stories. So, grab your virtual passport, because today we're embarking on an epic journey along this magnificent natural wonder. Let's start our adventure in the vast and icy north, in the Canadian Arctic archipelago. This is the realm of the Inuit, who have thrived in this challenging environment for thousands of years. Their culture, traditions, and survival are deeply intertwined with the sea ice. For Inuit communities, the frozen ocean isn't a barrier, it's a highway. It's their hunting ground. Hunters travel across the vast expanses of sea ice, using knowledge passed down through generations to track seals, walruses, and narwhals. This isn't just about food, it's a cornerstone of their cultural identity, connecting them to their ancestors and the land. But this ancient way of life is facing a modern threat. As the climate changes and the sea ice melts earlier and freezes later, the very foundation of their world is becoming less predictable, making these traditional hunts more dangerous and challenging. It's a stark reminder of how connected we all are to our planet's health. Now let's travel southeast to the Atlantic coast, where the mighty Gulf of St. Lawrence awaits. This isn't just any gulf. It's one of the largest estuaries in the world, where the Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence River finally meet the Atlantic Ocean. Think of it as a massive, bustling maritime crossroads. For centuries, this has been a vital shipping hub, connecting the heartland of North America to the rest of the globe. Towering container ships navigate these waters, carrying goods from cars to grain, making it a critical artery for international trade. But the Gulf is also teeming with life. It's a nursery for various whale species, including the magnificent blue whale and the endangered North Atlantic right whale. This creates a delicate balancing act, managing busy shipping lanes while protecting these gentle giants. It's a perfect example of how human activity and nature coexist, sometimes precariously, along Canada's coast. Speaking of the Atlantic, we can't talk about this region without mentioning its world-famous fishing industry. Welcome to Atlantic Canada, a collection of provinces including Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland and Labrador. Here, the ocean isn't just a view, it's a livelihood. And the king of the catch? Lobster. The cold, nutrient-rich waters of the Atlantic create the perfect habitat for these crustaceans. Picturesque fishing villages dot the coastline with colorful boats bobbing in the harbors. For generations, families have been hauling in lobster traps, a tradition that shapes the local economy and culture. When you enjoy a delicious lobster roll, you're tasting a piece of this rich maritime heritage. But it's not just about lobster. The waters here are also famous for scallops, crab, and cod, though the cod fishery has a cautionary tale of its own about the importance of sustainable management. It's a living, breathing economy driven by the rhythm of the tides. From the rugged Atlantic, let's journey all the way across the continent to the Pacific coast of British Columbia. The vibe here is completely different. Instead of icy plains or historic fishing towns, we find lush, temperate rainforests that meet the sea. And just offshore lies one of the most magical ecosystems on the planet, the giant kelp forests. These aren't just patches of seaweed, they are towering underwater cathedrals. Giant kelp can grow up to 2 feet a day, creating a dense, three-dimensional habitat that's bursting with life. It's like a bustling underwater city. Sea otters, the charming engineers of this ecosystem, wrap themselves in kelp fronds to keep from drifting away while they nap. Schools of rockfish dart through the waving blades, and colorful sea stars cling to the kelp's base. These forests are incredibly important, providing food and shelter for countless species, protecting the coastline from erosion and absorbing huge amounts of carbon dioxide. Exploring a BC kelp forest, whether by diving or kayaking, is an unforgettable experience that reveals the sheer wonder hidden just beneath the ocean's surface. So from the Arctic ice flows that sustain Inuit communities to the bustling shipping lanes of the St. Lawrence. From the lobster-rich waters of the Atlantic to the enchanting kelp forests of the Pacific, Canada's coastline is a treasure of global significance. It's a place of incredible natural beauty, economic importance, and deep cultural heritage. It supports diverse ways of life, from ancient traditions to modern industries, and hosts some of the most spectacular ecosystems on Earth. Its sheer scale and variety are a testament to the planet's wonders. And we've only scratched the surface today. Every cove, every island, every kilometer of this massive coastline has its own story to tell. What did you find most fascinating about Canada's coastline? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing from you. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more adventures, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Sharing this video with a friend who loves travel and nature would mean the world to us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Did you know that one country has a coastline so long that if you walked it continuously it would take you over 30 years? And no, it's not Russia or Australia. The country holding this incredible record is none other than Canada. With over 243,000 kilometers of shoreline, Canada's coast is the longest in the world, bordering 3 different oceans, the Atlantic, the Pacific, and the Arctic. This isn't just a line on a map. It's a world of stunning diversity, rich history, and untamed wilderness. From the rugged cliffs of the east to the temperate rainforests of the west and the icy expanses of the north, Canada's coastline is a story waiting to be told. So, grab your virtual passport, because today we are embarking on an epic journey along the endless shores of the Great White North. Let's begin our adventure on the Pacific coast in British Columbia. This is where the mountains dramatically meet the sea, creating a landscape of breathtaking fjords, secluded inlets, and thousands of islands. At the heart of it all is Vancouver, Canada's largest and busiest port city. It's a bustling gateway to Asia and the rest of the world, where massive container ships navigate the Burrard Inlet against a backdrop of towering skyscrapers and snow-capped peaks. Vancouver's port handles over 140 million tons of cargo annually, making it a critical hub for global trade. But beyond the commerce, the city's connection to the ocean defines its lifestyle. From kayaking in Falls Creek to watching seaplanes land in the harbor, the rhythm of the Pacific is an inseparable part of Vancouver's identity. It's a perfect fusion of urban energy and natural splendor. Venturing north from the city, we enter a realm of ancient giants, the Great Bear Rainforest. This is one of the largest remaining tracts of temperate rainforest on Earth, a mystical world draped in moss and mist. Some of the cedar and spruce trees here have stood for over 1,000 years, silent witnesses to centuries of change. This pristine ecosystem is home to an incredible array of wildlife, including grizzly bears, coastal wolves that swim between islands, and the elusive spirit bear, a rare white-coated black bear held sacred by local First Nations. Walking through these forests feels like stepping back in time. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and pine, and the silence is broken only by the call of a raven or the rush of a salmon-filled river. This is the wild, untamed heart of Canada's Pacific coast, a vital and fragile treasure that conservation efforts are working tirelessly to protect for future generations. Just off the coast lies an archipelago that feels like a world unto itself, Haida Gwaii. Formerly known as the Queen Charlotte Islands, this chain of over 150 islands is the ancestral home of the Haida Nation. For millennia, the Haida people have lived in harmony with this land and sea, developing a rich and vibrant culture renowned for its monumental totem poles, intricate carvings, and masterful canoe building. Visiting the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Skangwai is a profound experience. Here, you can see the hauntingly beautiful remains of a traditional village, with totem poles slowly being reclaimed by the forest, a powerful symbol of the enduring connection between the Haida people and their homeland. The culture here is not just a relic of the past, it's a living, breathing force as the Haida continue to protect their territory and share their heritage with the world. Now, let's travel all the way across the continent to the Atlantic coast, where the story of Canada's European settlement began. This coastline is dramatically different from the Pacific. It's a rugged, windswept region of rocky shores, charming fishing villages, and some of the highest tides on the planet. In the Bay of Fundy, the water level can rise and fall by as much as 16 meters. That's taller than a 4-story building twice a day. This massive tidal exchange has carved out incredible rock formations like the Hopewell Rocks in New Brunswick, where you can walk on the ocean floor at low tide and kayak around the same Flower Pot Islands just a few hours later. It's a natural spectacle that showcases the immense power of the ocean in a way you can see and feel. This region's maritime identity is deeply ingrained in its culture, from the lively fiddle music of Cape Breton to the fresh seafood served in harborside restaurants. Life on the Atlantic coast is shaped by the sea, and that includes its formidable power. The region is known for its intense coastal storms, particularly nor'easters and the remnants of hurricanes that track up from the south. These storms can bring ferocious winds, heavy precipitation, and dangerous storm surges that flood coastal communities. In 2022, Hurricane Fiona hit Atlantic Canada as one of the most powerful storms in the country's history, causing widespread damage and reminding everyone of the ocean's unforgiving nature. Coastal communities here have developed a deep respect for the sea and a resilience born from generations of weathering its fury. Lighthouses, like the iconic one at Peggy's Cove in Nova Scotia, stand as steadfast sentinels, symbols of guidance and safety in the face of the Atlantic's might. They are a testament to the enduring relationship between the people and the powerful ocean they call home. Finally, we journey to Canada's third and longest coastline, the Arctic. This is a vast, remote, and often frozen frontier, stretching across the top of the country. The Arctic Ocean and its labyrinth of channels and islands, known as the Arctic Archipelago, create a coastline that is both stunningly beautiful and incredibly harsh. For most of the year, the sea is locked in ice, creating a solid, sprawling landscape that blurs the line between land and water. This is the domain of the polar bear, the narwhal with its unicorn-like tusk, and the beluga whale. The Inuit people have thrived in this challenging environment for thousands of years, developing an incredible knowledge of the ice, the water, and the wildlife. Their culture is intrinsically linked to the patterns of the sea ice, which they use for travel, hunting, and connecting communities. However, the Arctic coastline is at the forefront of climate change. As global temperatures rise, the sea ice is melting at an alarming rate, shrinking in both extent and thickness. This has profound implications not only for the unique wildlife that depends on the ice, but also for the Inuit communities whose way of life is under threat. The melting ice is also opening up new shipping routes, like the legendary Northwest Passage, which has been sought by explorers for centuries. While this presents new economic opportunities, it also brings challenges, including the risk of oil spills, increased ship traffic impacting marine life, and complex questions of sovereignty. The future of the Arctic is one of the most critical environmental and geopolitical issues of our time, and the changes happening along this remote coastline will have ripple effects across the entire globe. From the towering rainforests of the Pacific to the historic fishing villages of the Atlantic and the icy expanses of the Arctic, Canada's coastline is a journey through incredible diversity. It's a place of immense natural beauty, rich cultural heritage, and pressing environmental challenges. Spanning 3 oceans, it tells the story of a nation shaped by the water that surrounds it. This incredible shoreline is more than just a geographical feature. It's a vital part of Canada's identity and a global treasure that deserves our admiration and protection. We've only just scratched the surface of what Canada's incredible coastline has to offer. What part of this journey surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this virtual expedition, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more adventures, and share it with a friend who loves to explore. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Did you know that Canada has the longest coastline in the entire world? If you were to walk its full length, it would take you over 30 years. Stretching for more than 243,000 kilometers, this immense coastline touches 3 different oceans: the Atlantic, the Pacific, and the Arctic. This isn't just a line on a map, it's a dynamic living frontier full of incredible stories and scientific wonders. Let's start on the East Coast, in Nova Scotia's Bay of Fundy. This place is famous for having the highest tides on Earth. Imagine the water level rising and falling by as much as 16 meters. That's taller than a 4-story building. This powerful movement of water creates a unique opportunity. Engineers and scientists are testing groundbreaking tidal power projects here. They're installing massive underwater turbines to capture the energy of the tides and convert it into clean, renewable electricity. It's like a giant natural power plant harnessing the rhythm of the ocean itself. This innovative approach could be a game changer for sustainable energy, not just for Canada, but for the world. Now let's journey north, way up to the Arctic coast. This remote and beautiful region is facing a serious challenge. The Arctic is warming at a rate more than twice as fast as the global average. This rapid change has profound effects. The sea ice, which is a crucial part of the ecosystem, is melting earlier and reforming later each year. This impacts everything from local weather patterns to the traditional lifestyles of indigenous communities who have lived here for millennia. Scientists are closely monitoring these changes, using satellites and on-the-ground research to understand the long-term consequences for both the local environment and the entire planet's climate system. The story of the Arctic coastline is a critical reminder of our interconnected world. But even in this rapidly changing environment, life finds a way. The northern waters are home to some of the most fascinating creatures on the planet. One of the most beloved is the beluga whale. Known as the canaries of the sea for their wide range of clicks, whistles, and chirps, these brilliant white whales undertake epic migrations along the coast. They travel in pods, navigating through icy channels to reach their summer feeding and calving grounds in shallow estuaries. Watching a pod of belugas move gracefully through the water is a truly magical experience. Their journey is a vital part of the Arctic's natural rhythm, a beautiful spectacle of resilience and adaptation. And speaking of magical creatures, the Arctic is also home to the narwhal. Often nicknamed the unicorns of the sea, male narwhals are famous for their single long tusk, which is actually an elongated canine tooth that can grow up to 10 feet long. For centuries, the purpose of this tusk was a mystery. Today, scientists believe it functions as a sensory organ, packed with millions of nerve endings. This allows the narwhal to detect changes in water temperature, pressure, and even the salt content of the water, helping them navigate and find food in the dark depths of the Arctic Ocean. These elusive and mysterious whales are a true wonder of the natural world, embodying the unique and precious biodiversity of Canada's northern frontier. From the powerful tides of the Atlantic to the melting ice of the Arctic, and the incredible wildlife that calls these waters home, Canada's coastline is a place of immense beauty, scientific importance, and urgent challenges. It's a reminder of the raw power and delicate balance of our planet's oceans. There's so much more to explore and understand about this vast and vital part of our world. What fact about Canada's coastline amazed you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more adventures, and share it with someone who loves the ocean as much as we do. Thanks for watching. Did you know that Canada has the longest coastline in the world? It's so long that if you walked it continuously, it would take you over 30 years to finish. Let's dive into some of the most amazing facts about this massive, beautiful, and wild frontier. Stretching over 243,000 kilometers or 151,000 miles, Canada's coastline borders 3 different oceans: the Atlantic, the Pacific, and the Arctic. This isn't just one long sandy beach. It's a breathtaking mosaic of rocky cliffs, majestic fjords, dense rainforests, and icy remote Arctic shores. It's a coastline of incredible diversity, and each section tells its own unique story. Let's start our journey in the east, on the Atlantic coast. This is where you'll find some of Canada's oldest European settlements and a maritime culture that's as rugged as the coastline itself. Think of places like Newfoundland and Labrador, with their colorful fishing villages clinging to rocky shores battered by North Atlantic waves. It's here that you'll find iconic landmarks like the lighthouse at Peggy's Cove in Nova Scotia, one of the most photographed lighthouses in the world. These lighthouses aren't just pretty. For centuries, they were the beacons of hope for sailors navigating these treacherous, often foggy waters. This coast is steeped in history, from Viking landings at Lonso Meadows to the rich fishing traditions that have supported communities for generations. Now let's head north to the Arctic. This is a world unlike any other. Much of Canada's Arctic coastline is a frozen, formidable landscape for most of the year. It's a vast, sparsely populated region, home to the Inuit people, who have thrived in this challenging environment for millennia. Their deep connection to the land and sea is an integral part of this coastline story. And here in the Arctic, we find one of Canada's most famous coastal towns, Churchill, Manitoba. Sitting on the shores of Hudson Bay, Churchill is known as the polar bear capital of the world. Every autumn, polar bears gather here, waiting for the sea ice to form so they can hunt for seals. It is one of the most accessible places on Earth to see these magnificent predators in their natural habitat, offering a humbling reminder of the wild power of Canada's coast. This Arctic coastline is also a critical indicator of our planet's health. The melting sea ice here has profound implications not just for the polar bears, but for global climate patterns. It's a fragile ecosystem, home to narwhals, beluga whales, and seals, all of which depend on the unique conditions of the Arctic Ocean. The beauty of this region is stark and immense, with the northern lights often dancing in the sky above the frozen sea. Moving west, we arrive at the Pacific coast in British Columbia. This coastline is a world of its own, characterized by the Great Bear Rainforest, one of the largest temperate rainforests on the planet. Here, ancient cedar and spruce trees grow right down to the water's edge. The coastline is a complex network of islands, inlets, and deep dramatic fjords carved by ancient glaciers. It's a paradise for wildlife enthusiasts. You can see orcas, also known as killer whales, hunting in pods, and humpback whales breaching majestically out of the water. On land, this coast is home to the elusive spirit bear, a rare white-furred subspecies of the black bear, held sacred by local First Nations. One of the most fascinating aspects of Canada's coastline, particularly in the north and parts of the west, is its remoteness. There are vast stretches of coast that are completely inaccessible by road. To reach these places, you need a boat, a plane, or a serious sense of adventure. This isolation has preserved these areas in a near-pristine state, making them some of the last truly wild places on Earth. Exploring these remote shores feels like stepping back in time to a world untouched by modern development. These areas are vital sanctuaries for nature. And that brings us to a crucial point. Canada's coastlines are incredibly important for global biodiversity. They are nurseries, feeding grounds, and migratory routes for countless species. The estuaries where freshwater rivers meet the saltwater oceans are some of the most productive ecosystems on the planet, supporting massive bird populations and fish stocks. From the millions of shorebirds that stop at the Bay of Fundy during their migration to the salmon runs of the Pacific, these coasts are bursting with life. Protecting these habitats is a massive responsibility, and Canada is working to conserve these vital marine areas for future generations. So, when you think of Canada, don't just picture mountains and maple syrup. Picture this immense, dynamic, and life-giving coastline. It's a place of history, a sanctuary for wildlife, and a source of endless adventure. From the polar bears of the Arctic to the rainforests of the Pacific, Canada's coast is a national treasure with a global impact. It's a testament to the raw, untamed beauty of our planet. There are still so many stories hidden along these shores waiting to be discovered. What part of Canada's coast would you want to explore first? I hope you enjoyed this journey along the world's longest coastline. If you found this fascinating, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below with your thoughts, and do not forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you do not miss our next adventure. Sharing this video with a friend who loves travel and nature would also be amazing. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Did you know that one country has a coastline so long you could walk for 33 years straight and still not see all of it? And no, it's not Russia or Australia, it's Canada. That's right, the Great White North boasts the longest coastline in the entire world, stretching for an incredible 243,042 kilometers, or about 151,19 miles. To put that into perspective, that's enough coastline to circle the Earth almost 6 times at the equator. It's absolutely mind-boggling. This immense coastline borders 3 different oceans: the Atlantic to the east, the Pacific to the west, and the icy Arctic to the north. Each of these coasts has its own unique character, its own stories, and its own secrets. Let's start on the rugged Atlantic coast. This is where you'll find some of the most picturesque fishing villages you've ever seen. Places like Peggy's Cove in Nova Scotia, with its iconic lighthouse perched on granite rocks. The Atlantic provinces, Newfoundland and Labrador, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick, have a maritime culture that's deeply woven into their identity. For centuries, life here has revolved around the sea, but the Atlantic is not always a gentle friend. It's known for its powerful storms and treacherous waters. This has led to countless shipwrecks over the centuries, earning parts of it names like the Graveyard of the Atlantic. These sunken treasures are now a playground for divers and a fascinating window into history. Imagine the stories these wrecks could tell, of brave sailors, valuable cargo, and the unforgiving power of nature. The fisheries here are legendary. The Grand Banks of Newfoundland were once considered one of the richest fishing grounds in the world. While overfishing has presented challenges, the industry remains a vital part of the economy, supporting thousands of jobs and communities that have been fishing for generations. From lobster and scallops to cod and haddock, the bounty of the Atlantic is famous worldwide. Now let's journey west to the Pacific coast of British Columbia. The scenery here is dramatically different. Instead of quaint villages, you'll find majestic fjords, towering temperate rainforests that meet the sea, and thousands of islands making up archipelagos like Haida Gwaii, often called the Galapagos of the North, for its unique wildlife. The Pacific coast is home to incredible biodiversity. This is where you can see orcas, also known as killer whales, gracefully navigating the waters, humpback whales breaching in spectacular fashion, and grizzly bears roaming the shores in search of salmon. The annual salmon run is one of nature's greatest spectacles, as millions of fish return from the ocean to spawn in the rivers where they were born. This coast also has a rich indigenous history, with First Nations communities having lived here for millennia. Their art, stories, and connection to the land and sea are an integral part of British Columbia's cultural fabric. Totem poles stand as silent storytellers, gazing out over the water. And just like the Atlantic, the Pacific has its own share of maritime history and shipwrecks, with the treacherous waters of the Graveyard of the Pacific off Vancouver Island claiming many vessels over the years. But wait, we've only covered 2 oceans. Let's head north to the most remote and mysterious part of Canada's coastline, the Arctic. This is a world of ice, tundra, and breathtaking stark beauty. The Arctic coastline is a labyrinth of islands, channels, and bays, forming the legendary Northwest Passage, a sea route through the Arctic Ocean that explorers sought for centuries. Life in the Arctic is a testament to resilience. The Inuit people have thrived in this harsh environment for thousands of years, developing an unparalleled knowledge of the land, ice, and sea. Their survival has depended on hunting marine mammals like seals and whales, a tradition that continues to this day. The Arctic wildlife is just as extraordinary. This is the realm of the polar bear, the king of the Arctic. You can also find narwhals, the unicorns of the sea with their long spiral tusks, as well as beluga whales and walruses. As the climate changes, this fragile ecosystem faces unprecedented threats, making its preservation more critical than ever. And it's not just oceans. Canada's coastline also includes the shores of the Great Lakes, the largest group of freshwater lakes on Earth. These inland seas are so vast that they have their own tides, weather systems, and maritime culture. They also have a dark side, with an estimated 6,000 shipwrecks lying at the bottom, preserved in the cold fresh water, ghosts of a bustling shipping era. Across all these coasts, a vibrant tourism industry is booming. People come from all over the world to kayak through serene fjords, go whale watching, explore historic lighthouses, hike coastal trails, or simply relax on a sandy beach. From the surfing culture of Tofino in British Columbia to the iceberg alleys of Newfoundland, there's an adventure for everyone. This coastal tourism provides crucial income and helps people appreciate the natural wonders Canada has to offer. So, from the stormy Atlantic to the majestic Pacific and all the way up to the frozen Arctic, Canada's coastline is more than just a line on a map. It's a lifeline for communities, a haven for wildlife, a keeper of history, and a source of endless wonder and adventure. It's a national treasure of truly epic proportions. I hope you enjoyed this journey along the world's longest coastline. If you learned something new and want to see more amazing facts about our incredible world, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment with what surprised you the most, and subscribe to the channel. And please share this with a friend who loves travel and adventure. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.